and welcome to the bakingmad.com kitchen, where I'm going to show you how to make light crumbly short crust pastry. To make short crust pastry you need plain flour, so I've got 200 grams of plain flour and I've added a pinch of salt, and I'm just going to sieve that into the bowl. We want our pastry to be really light and fluffy, so it's always a good idea to sieve it. And you always use plain flour for pastry because we don't want it to rise, we just want nice short pastry. And then to add to that, I'm going to add half quantity, which is 200 grams of flour, 100 grams of chilled butter, and just rub that in with your fingertips to make breadcrumbs. Now, classic short crust pastry is you can use half butter and half lard if you want to. That's the classic short crust, and I would use that if I was making a savoury pie or a savoury pastry. For desserts I like to use all butter, and if you want a really rich texture you can add an egg yolk or even a whole egg, and if you do that of course you use a little less water. And you can also add a little bit of, say a tablespoonful or so of caster sugar if you want a sweet pastry. Now the trick is you need cold hands and cold butter, and you literally pick up the cubes of butter and squish it between your fingertips to rub the butter into the flour. Until you need to keep going like this until you get really fine breadcrumbs. And if you're in a rush or if it's a hot day, just do it in the food processor, and that makes it really quick. And you shouldn't use the palm of your hands, you should just be using your fingertips. Then you need to add about 3 to 4 tablespoonfuls of really cold water. To add 3 to start with, and that should bring it all together. And you can either mix it with your hands or with a knife if you prefer. I just think hands are better because you get a much better feel for what's going on. That should just bring the pastry together into a ball. Now we'll add 1 more tablespoonful. You can never quite tell with flour how much water it's going to absorb, and if you're making wholemeal pastry it will always absorb a little bit more. So just bring that together into a ball, and then ideally, if you've got time, you should chill your pastry. Wrap it in cling film and chill it in the fridge for 20 minutes if you've got time. So I'm just going to wrap this in cling film and pop it in the fridge for 20 minutes. There we are. That's our pastry made.